say, you know, that part that goes boop, boop? Maybe it could go boom, boom.
More of that, less of a
Boom. Oh.
Do you want something like, or do you want something, you know, that's like a bigger, like,
I love this stuff.
There are well over 1 million audio assets in Diablo 4.
At any given moment, there could be over 100 sounds playing.
waterfalls and foliage sounds and wind,
footsteps,
wildlife,
armor moving around.
The monster sound.
A fireball or an ice orb.
So mixing for a game like Diablo 4 is intense.
We have to decide which sound is important.
You need to hear that there's threat coming from either side. You need to hear the monsters. When you cast a spell, you want that to be the primary focus. That's the star of the show in that moment.
The big rare piece of loot pops out that you've been grinding for 2 hours straight. You want that moment to be like, wow, this is just the coolest thing I've ever heard. The different elements push and pull and move out of the way of each other in a natural way that builds up together into the entire sound of the world of Sanctuary.
We make sounds for the things that doesn't exist in real life.
You could have this really cool, scary-looking monster, but what does it sound like? You want to give it feeling. You want to give it life.
How do you make a ghostly fireball sound? Or there is this wall of just air coming up, but in the game it acts as some sort of barrier. How would that sound like? How does that sound like when you have to keep it on screen for a long time, or you have 20 of them on screen?
We help convey game status, emotional information, as well as just giving you that visceral feedback.
This will be number 15. Oh, Mike. Oh.
We can do a really good job of recording things in the studio, but nothing sounds like something actually happening.
It's the raw audio recordings that we use to build up our sound design with. It's the layers, it's the building blocks of sound design. It's probably one of the most inspiring things we do, is getting out in the field and recording our own sounds.
I'm a sucker for anything loud. So yeah, I love explosions. We did recently do a recording session with a bird cannon. You essentially hook it up to a propane tank and it just makes giant loud blast to scare off birds off your crops, but you know, it's perfect for instant explosion sounds. So we get these just awesome initial blast and then you hear the report of it kind of coming off of the mountains through the canyons. For some of the big explosion-y moments, you know, we have that layered in there along with some of the wispy magic stuff.
We were out in the desert. This place is so remote that all of their groceries and even their mail are flown in. And we heard this prop plane come in and landed in this airstrip. That's a moment where the opportunity presented itself and we took it and he agreed to let us record the plane. You never know that a plane engine might sound really cool under a growl of a monster. That's the most fun for me, is the unplanned moments that are really serendipitous and exciting.
What do we need? Oh, we need some gore. Okay, so we'll go to the grocery store and we'll get like all sorts of tomatoes, cabbages, carrots, celery, yogurt, things that should never be mixed together, and we'll bring it into the room. Can I have some pasta, sir? It's so fun. The room smelled so bad. And, you know, we put it on different surfaces so it has different textures. We experiment. Hey, let's just see what happens when we put all these vegetables together and hit it with a hammer.
Slime is actually a bigger business than you'd think, and you could actually order lots and lots of different slimes off the internet. Different size containers, different texture, and then we mixed and mashed it, we ripped it, we threw it together. The coolest was probably when we brought in like the air compressor to the real liquidy stuff, and we started getting these very cool and that was to get source sounds for the Hollows family.
I'll also try to record while everybody's recording hydrophone, skillet, everything.
Hydrophone is a type of microphone with a really long cable that you drop down into the water. And the crazy thing about water, too, is that sound travels just way, way farther than it does in air. So we might be half a mile away. The dolphins are over there, and you'll still be hearing them on your microphone because the sound travels that far.
It sounds like there's 3 whales a little farther that way. And then there is a larger pod of dolphins out there, too.
We stumbled across some sea lions that were on a buoy, and they were making crazy guttural sounds. So we stopped the boat, turned it off, just recorded as much as we could.
You can never get enough creature recordings. Everyone always wants to use them for everything. They're great for creatures. They have a bunch of character to process them and use them in spells. You can stretch them out and turn them into ambiances. It's the evergreen well of awesome sounding sound source.
I love monster sound. I love working with voice actors.
Hey, I'm D. Bradley Baker, and we're making creature sounds.
Well, the first thing that we do is we hire the best talent out there possible to work on, and I'd swear if you closed your eyes and didn't know that it was a person, you would never even guess.
As far as I'm concerned, this isn't any different from doing a spoken character, because ultimately, why I'm brought in and what's important is that the intent is specific and that it fits exactly with the story that's being told.
What's the monster? What makes this monster family unique? What makes this individual monster inside of the family unique, too?
I love the character of it. Could we try maybe just going every other, Cause
Okay.
Like maybe he has to really work a little bit harder on his left leg he's balancing the staff with.
All right.
And we also take the creature exertions, we'll process them, mix it with maybe animal sounds, make them sound even more monstrous, and push it to another level.
We aren't going to know what it's really going to sound like until we get it into the game. Most sounds aren't just like a single thing. They're built of smaller pieces we usually refer to as layers.
Whenever a player's crashing into a barrel, is that barrel really going to sound the same every single time, or is it going to sound different every single time?
When that barrel, for example, falls apart, we probably just made the sound for the wood pieces cracking and falling, and the sound for the metal. The game itself has the individual pieces depending on how they interact and collide with things in the world. That actually makes the final sound.
And we go into each one of these layers and randomize the pitch, the volume, even sometimes give it some delay. And you play with all these parameters for all these different little sounds, and it'll sound unique and different subtly. Like you just get these really magical experiences.
The UI of Diablo is this dark medieval feel to it. It's metal, it's rock, it's very gothic.
A lot of information in the game is communicated via audio.
Something good happened, or maybe you failed a mission. These different sounds need to communicate those emotions in a way that the player can easily understand.
And a lot of visual systems don't sufficiently tell you what you need to know. One of the things that really drew me to the Diablo team to begin with was opportunities for accessibility. Allowing certain audio systems to be turned up or turned down is really helpful, and I wanted to make sure that the game experiences that we produce set a high enough quality bar that those people can experience the same game and walk away happy.
Salvage item. Accept. Aspect upgraded.
The goal for localization is, of course, having the player be able to play the games in the languages that they understand.
Take a chance, wanderer. Che il padre ti porti fortuna.
Anything that is spoken gets localized.
Is it justice?
Justice!
When we need to have crowd noises, when they need to yell together or just chit-chat, the talents, they need to have very casual yet incoherent chit-chat in those accents.
When I feel like I've won as a sound designer, it's when you don't notice anything at all. You are completely connected to the character you're playing and the world that you're living in, and you're not questioning any of it.
We collaborate on what the moment needs.
When the player can close their eyes and you can tell them a story without seeing anything, I think that really is something special.
I want people to like wince at it and be like, oh, that's so disgusting, because that's what I did whenever I made it.
If you put it on mute, I don't think you get nearly the feel. You can see like the jaguar jump down and it looks like it does like a circle in the fire, but once you turn it on and we have like this giant roars and thunder strikes and flamethrowers going on, and then that's all combined into this one spell, and it all just completely seals the deal.